Experience Epic Poker. Now you can play like a pro, free. In a league that contains only the best poker players in the world, success doesn't come easy. Just ask Adam Levy.
That's gross.
He bubbled the inaugural Epic main event final table and now has a chance at redemption.
Obviously, I don't want a final table bubble again. There's no other way to put it. It sucks.
Mike McDonald has a chance to leave a lasting legacy. At 21, he's the youngest member of the Epic Poker League.
If I were to win this, that might be a record that could potentially be never broken.
48-year-old chip leader David Steike is a high roller who looks to cement his status as a big game player. And then there's poker legend Erik Seidel.
It's Erik Seidel, man. Jeez.
In the midst of what may be the greatest year in poker history, he has a chance at his second Epic main event final table and the #1 spot on the Global Poker Index.
This is one of those once-in-a-lifetime years. For me, it would be really huge to make the final table again. It's pretty exciting.
Opportunities abound, 8 seats await. The battle for the final table continues. Welcome to the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas. Only 15 remain as day 3 continues, and we are just 7 away from reaching our final table and 3 away from the money bubble of $46,000. Out in the field is chip leader David Steike, young gun Mike McDonald, Pro-Am winner Sean Getzweiler, and the man everybody has an eye on, Erik Seidel. The feature table is also filled with talent and personality as the second Epic Poker main event rolls on. Hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien along with Ali Najad. And as you know, buddy, at this stage of the tournament, everybody is focused on making the final table. And Adam Levy is getting a second chance to make that happen. Last time he finished just 1 spot shy of poker's promised land. Ali, what will he have to do to take this next all-important step?
Pat, the good news for Adam Levy is that Erik Seidel is not sitting at his table. The bad news, however, the feature table where he sits right now isn't exactly a berry patch, my friend. Dutch Boyd knows all about second chances, an original young gun when he burst onto the scene in 2003. He's had a rocky road since then, but today is another chance to shine. Fabrice Soulier is a renaissance man with film and television to his many credits. Now focused on poker, his success is no act. And then there's Alan Berry. He's young, he's brash, and he happens to be really, really good. We said it before, Pat. In this league, everyone's got game, so making it to the final table is never a fluke.
And here I thought I was the Renaissance man here. Oh well. There are only 8 coveted seats at that final table, and everybody down in the hardwood is eager to get the cards back in the air.
Pat, let's take a look at how our final 2 tables lay out. Par or chip average is $323K. At table 2, Seidel's in seat 1 with the second biggest stack. He'll have to deal with overall chip leader David Steike in seat 6. At our feature table, we got a lot of personality in Dutch Boyd, Alan Berry, and Adam Levy. Chip leader at the table is Nam Lee.
In the 1 seat, Frenchman Fabrice Soulier, you see his GPI ranking to the left of his name, 7th overall.
Allez-vous, right? Allez-vous, isn't that Let's Go? What's Let's Go? It's just LA, yeah, there's no allez-vous.
So much better than Vamo, I must say.
French is a lot prettier than Portuguese, I think.
Got a couple of linguists at the table.
Blinds are 3 and 6,000 with 1,000 ante. Action is on Dutch Boyd, a law school graduate. At age 18, he folds.
Pleading no contest with his hand. Alan Berry, however, with ace-king of diamonds from under the gun +1. He's going to make it 12,000 to go. 6 max final table bubble boy Adam Levy's going to dump it with a couple of deuces.
Action folds around to 118th ranked Tim West in the 4 seat. He's got ace-10.
There's West trusty card protector Lotso Bear from Toy Story 3. Lotso's, of course, the villain from the movie. He was just misunderstood, Pat.
I know the feeling. He calls from the big blind, and we're heads up to the flop. And there's the flop. Ace-king 4, 2 spades. Barry is ahead with 2 pair.
Top 2 pair.
West checks.
And Tim's in a tricky spot here. He's out of position against Allen with top pair.
Barry bets 11,000. You see his remaining chip stack under his bet. And West makes the call.
Don't want to check raise and don't want to check fold. That's your only other option.
Turn card is 7 of hearts, and Barry gets the check mark, which means he can only lose the hand if he folds. West checks again. Action on Barry, indicated by the green light next to his cards.
57,000 in the pot.
He bets 34,000.
Good size bet there. Not too big, not too small, just right. He's going to keep his customer.
Indeed, West calls. River card is a 6 of spades, which puts a third spade on the board, but changes neither player's hand. West checks a third time.
Board texture has changed. The flush has come in now.
Barry bets 93,000. It's a big bet, Ali.
Allen not worried about a spade draw in Tim's hand. Now, West could have let out with a defensive bet there. Instead, by checking, he's going to be forced to call 93,000 if he wants to see Barry's hand.
Call.
He makes the call, and he's not going to like what he sees.
Oh, Lotso's down for the count.
I don't think he knows what you're talking about.
That's such a bad call. Let's check shove that.
Well, Tim just dumped off nearly half his stack while Allen is chipped up. Having a pretty good day so far.
Over at table 2, meantime, the man who's having one of the greatest years ever, Eric Seidel, and the chip leader, who doesn't consider himself a pro, David Steike. They're watching while Canadians and friends, Mike Watson and Mike McDonald, square off.
No friends at the poker table, Pat, and that's evidenced by McDonald re-raising Watson.
Heads up to the flop, eh? 10-6-4 rainbow. Watson pairs his 10, and he's going to check.
Oh, and he's going to lose some money here. Watson with top pair, top kicker. McDonald's got him notched with the pocket jacks.
McDonald bets 32,000. And looks like Watson is raising it to 77,000. Some friend, huh?
Yeah, that's an unhappy meal. Such an untextured board. McDonald can't be worried that his 2 jacks are no good.
Well, he re-raises to 127,000.
He's going to take control of this pot back from Watson.
Oh!
All in, putting his friend at risk.
I don't think I have the best hand, but I call.
Call.
McDonald calls.
It's a scary call considering how dry and untextured the board is. You know Watson's not shoving with some type of draw here. Watson looking for an ace or a 10 to make the best hand.
Well, the turn card's a 5. That's no help.
Not at all. And now Watson's got 5 outs once.
River is a 5, and Mike McDonald doubles up. You see his winning cards highlighted. He's now second in chips with nearly 600,000.
The gravy train keeps rolling for that youngster. Mike Watson, meanwhile, just lost 80% of his stack. Ouch!
Back at the feature table, Jonathan Little looking for help on the turn. He doesn't get it. Now drawing dead on the river. Barry's queens will knock Little out in 15th, 3 shy of the money.
So wait, are our faces like up on these screens?
Barry giving the cameras a little mug after the elimination.
That's kind of badass. I wish they'd put my face up.
Barry is now up to second in chips overall with 595,000. We're down to just 14 players, Ali, and let's take a look at what everybody is playing for.
All right, Pat, $20,000 was the buy-in for the event. You get nothing for 13th place and a whopping $46,000 for 12th. That's a huge bubble. And of course, there's a $782,000 payday for the winner.
Action's now on the Renaissance man, Fabrice Soulier. He looks down at 7-6 offsuit, and he folds.
You mean he folds?
Over to Isaac Barron, he's got Queen Jack of diamonds.
Barron made a deep run at the 6 max, finishing 10th.
13,000 raised there. Action folds to Adam Levy in the small blind, who's got King Jack suited.
After final table bubbling the last event and with 14 players left right now, you know what's going through Adam Levy's head. Don't do it to me twice.
Adam Levy calls. Nam Lee folds the big blind. And the flop is Ace King King. Levy hits trips. Barron picks up a Broadway draw.
Levy's loving this. He's hoping Isaac has hit an ace on this board. Gonna try to get a check raise in. Barron won't follow up with a continuation bet.
turn card is a 3.
That card doesn't impact either player's hand. Now, Levy could try to get a check raise in here again, and that's the line that he's taken, Pat. Can't blame Isaac for taking a stab at the pot now. Adam's shown disinterest on 2 streets. Can look a little bit weak, though. Doesn't matter. Adam's got the goods.
He makes the call. The river card is 7. Levy gets the check mark.
Well, considering he check called on the turn, Adam should check a 3rd time here and try to get some more chips out of Isaac.
And he checks again. Barron falls into the trap and bets 27,000.
I'm a little surprised that Isaac didn't just shut it down here. And you see Levy make the call.
Queen.
Kind of played this slow. Yeah.
Not too many hands Adam would check call the turn with that he wouldn't call the river with.
You probably play that.
Oh, what?
You probably play that perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, to get
did.
2 streets.
Adam Levy, looking to avoid a final table bubble repeat, appears focused with the final table in his sights. Experience Epic Poker. Now you can play like a pro, free. $780,000 and the second Epic Poker main event title are on the line. And back inside the Palms Casino Resort, it doesn't look good for Mike Watson.
McDonald had his good friend on the ropes and now has knocked him out.
Mike McDonald indeed finishes what he started and sends Mike Watson to the rail in 14th place. And with that knockout, we reach the money bubble. McDonald continues to live atop the leaderboard alongside tablemates David Steike and Eric Seidel, who holds the 4th place spot. Let's take a look at our final 13 players.
We're just 1 player away from making the money, Pat. Steike and McDonald are on top. The short stack is Fabrice Soulier, who is the chip leader with 23 left.
Back at the feature table, Isaac Barron is still licking his wounds.
There's no friends at the table. There's no crying in baseball. Nobody even knows what that is. You know.
Who doesn't know who that is?
Everybody knows. Oh, everybody?
Everyone knows.
Okay. I knew you'd know right when I said it. I was like, okay. Then what's the name of the guy who said it?
Tom Hanks.
In the movie.
I don't know.
Boom.
I remember,
Jimmy Dugan.
Jimmy Dugan, you're right.
There may be no crying in baseball, and Adam Levy is hoping there won't be any tears at the poker table as he tries to avoid another dreaded final table bubble.
The first event of the Epic Poker League, I bubbled the TV final table.
Adams flopped a boat. Chino can hit an ace or a king. Anything else, and Adams doubling up.
That definitely was a little heartbreaking, especially the way that the cards fell.
And the river says it's an ace. Lightning strikes.
That is sick.
The fact that it came ace, ace, queen, and the river was the ace to give him the better hand, that just hurts.
Chino Reeve knocks Adam Levy to the rail.
It sucks to bubble, but you got to do what you got to do to try to actually win the tournament sometimes. And unfortunately, some percent of the time you're gonna bubble. It just wasn't my time. Obviously, I don't want a final table bubble again, but it can happen. It would definitely be an anomaly. I have a decent stack, and hopefully things just don't go that badly again. I doubt anyone's going to have 2 final table bubbles, let alone, in a row. So hopefully I'll finally run well in one of these future tables.
Adam Levy finished 12th at the 2010 WSOP main event, and that almost final table bubble paid him over 600 grand.
As you see on the Epic Update, 13 remain, and we are on the money bubble. Alan Berry with a Jack-6 of clubs. From under the gun, he raised it up to 12,000.
Super loose raise up front, but we are on the money bubble. A lot of times players will tighten up in this spot. It's the difference between going home empty-handed and taking home some cash. It's been folded around to Dutch Boyd in the big blind. He's going to defend.
With queen 9, Boyd throws in the additional 6,000. And we go heads up to the flop. King 6-4, rainbow. Barry pairs a 6. Boyd whiffs. And he checks.
Allen's going to follow up the pre-flop raise with a bet, and why not? He's got middle pair and a good kicker. Not too bad an outcome for Jack 6.
And Dutch calls Barry's bet of 11,000.
He's not calling because he's got queen high. He's trying to set Allen up on the turn.
Turn card 8 of hearts. Barry's 6 is still good, but he can't be confident on this one, can he?
Well, it's not too bad a spot. The 8's unlikely to have changed anything about Dutch's hand. But now that Boyd is leading out, Barry's faced with the decision. He's going to call the bet of 23,000, and you see the stare down there. Both players are trying to figure out what is going on.
3 of clubs. Barry gets the check mark.
Dutch is taking a very interesting line here. This has nothing to do with his cards. He check called the flop, let out on the turn and got called, and now he's leading out again on the river. He is saying, I've got a big hand to Alan Barry. It's up to Barry to decide whether or not Dutch's story checks out.
44.
Less than a half pot size bet, screams value.
Such a weird line. So weird. Take a clock.
That's interesting. Dutch is asking for a clock, doesn't want to give Barry too much time to think this over. And it's worked out well.
Barry folds the winning hand.
There, you want to show me one.
Here you go. Boyd shows him a queen.
Little teaser.
King, queen. Okay. I mean, that's a really weird card to show. It has to be king. It was a weird line. Has to be king, queen.
Dutch Boyd makes a great play, and the battle for the Epic Poker final table rolls on. Experience Epic Poker. Now you can play like a pro, free. Welcome back to the Palms Casino Resort. 13 players are left and only 12 will cash. At the outer table, Eric Seidel is doing what he's done best all year, and that is rake in the chips. It's no wonder that he has the number 2 spot on the Global Poker Index.
Seidel can lock up the number 1 spot, Pat, with a third-place finisher better here. Both Fabrice Soulier, ranked 7th on the GPI, and Alan Barry, ranked 16th, are still alive and looking to move up the rankings as well.
Soulier and Barry are both currently seated at our feature table. The blinds are up to 4,000, 8,000. Action begins on Barry, who looks down at a pair of 7s, and he raises it to 16,000. Folded over to Dutch Boyd in the big blind, he looks down at pocket kings.
Well, pocket 7's a lot better than Barry's Jack 6 suited last time he went to war with Boyd, but pocket kings are even better.
Boyd made the call on the flop now, king, queen, 3.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that for Dutch Boyd. Alan Barry's gonna need runner quads or a pistol to win this pot.
Yeah, Boyd checks his set. And Barry puts out a small bet of 14,000.
Standard continuation play from Alan, gonna try to represent a piece of that board. Dutch's line has entirely disguised the strength of his hand.
And Boyd is going to raise it up to 42,000.
Dutch is peeling back the curtain a little bit on this disguise. Alan's not going to suspect there's a set of kings behind the curtain, but Dutch is saying he's got a piece.
Yeah, unfortunately for Barry, he's not buying it. Makes the call.
Well, Barry's probably thinking if Dutch's hand was that big, he wouldn't check raise on the flop, he'd just call.
Turn card is an ace, and Boyd gets the check mark.
Yeah, no chance that Alan Barry's going to be able to win this pot unless Dutch Boyd laid his hand down, which is super unlikely.
Boyd checks.
Oh, this is weird. A check raise on the flop, and now another check on the turn.
And Barry gets his chips ready and fires out a bet of 69,000, just about half the pot.
Took the bait, couldn't resist the temptation. This bet has nothing to do with the fact that Barry has 2 7s in his hand and everything to do with the board texture and position. Alan's trying to represent a big hand. He's got no clue Dutch has flopped top set. He's likely hoping that Boyd just has a king or a queen, and then imagine how tough that call would be for Dutch to make, given an ace on the board against a guy who called your check raise on the flop and now fired big on the turn.
Boyd made the call. River card is the deuce of hearts.
Running flush gets there. Unlikely that anyone's got hearts, considering the way the hand's played out to this point.
Boyd checks again.
This is brutal. He's going for the trifecta.
Big bet from Barry, 190,000.
That'll leave a lump in your throat with a set of kings. So Dutch is gonna make the call. He'll be happy to know Allen doesn't have 10 jack or the hearts. Huge pot over to Dutch.
Dutch Boyd is now third in chips, nearing the 700,000 chip mark. Meantime, Barry takes a huge hit to his stack, nearing the danger zone with just 26 big blinds left. Barry has said that he thinks he's one of the top 5 players in the world, but after years of being in the game and numerous successes under his belt, Dutch Boyd has a different perspective.
Everybody has flaws in their game, everybody. I think if anybody thinks that they have a big edge in this field, then they're being naive and they're overconfident. And being overconfident is just as dangerous as being underconfident. In 2003, I would consider myself one of the young guns. Fresh on the scene, I was convinced that I was God's gift to poker. I was super confident, super cocky. Years at the table will take that idea out of your head right quick. I feel like I get better every day. I'm more humble today. I've made some tactical changes to my game. Rather than trying to force action and force big laydowns, I've been letting them take the lead and reacting to what they do. In poker, you have to adjust your game. If you see someone who's old and known in poker, and young and known in poker, put your money on the old guy every time.
Well, I don't know about every time. There's certainly a lot of promising young players out there. Put your money on them and probably be in pretty good shape.
Young or old, log on to epicpoker.com to find out more about the league's players, including the second oldest remaining player in the field, David Steike. He's put out a bet of $50,000 after the turn, and action is on the league's youngest player, Mike McDonald, who lays it down. And now over to Matt Glantz. Glantz mucks as well.
I knew you couldn't have the nut flush draw, and I knew you couldn't have trip aces either. So.
Steike shows his pocket aces, and McDonald shrugs it off. He knows Steike is a tough competitor after playing with him overseas at tournaments in both Australia and Asia.
He's completely fearless. Whether he wins $800,000 or $60,000, I don't think it matters that much to him. And as a result of that, he can put on a lot more pressure than certain players. Combine that with just being like a very intelligent guy who understands people well, he ends up being like a tough opponent to play against.
Steike almost didn't play in this event after traveling all the way from Hong Kong because he's been extremely sick right up until today.
Somebody who looks sick right now is Alan Berry. He raised all in pre-flop with pocket jacks. Isaac Barron called with pocket aces. Fabrice Soulier folded a jack, so that means there's only one jack left in the deck for Barry as we head to the turn. It's a deuce, no help to Barry. We may be one card away from the money.
He's got good reason to be packed up. One out once, not where you want to be. Barry getting max value out of his buy-in as he polishes off that beverage.
Free.
Looks like he's headed for the bus.
And the river is a queen, and that'll do it. We're in the money.
Barron delivers the knockout blow to Barry, who goes home empty-handed as the bubble boy in 13th and takes the long walk out of the poker room.
Everybody else with a smile on their faces as they are now guaranteed at least $46,000. The final table is now in sight for the 12 remaining competitors at the second Epic Poker League main event. You're all in the money, fellas. Keep smiling.
I make it.
Congrats, Fabrice. Congrats. Congrats, everybody.
We did it.
Experience Epic Poker. Now you can play like a pro, free. On the road to the final table at the Palms Casino Resort, the field is thinning.
Good luck, gentlemen.
Number 2 player in the world, Eric Seidel, continues his quest for the number 1 spot with his run at back-to-back epic main event final tables. His nemesis from the first final table, Epic Poker champion Cheeto Ream, was sent packing short of the money by 21-year-old Mike McDonald.
Good luck, guys.
Earlier, David Steike eliminated both Christian Harder and Chris Moore in stunning fashion on the full house.
Never easy, is it?
And online phenom Isaac Barron and his pocket ace has just silenced Alan Berry, getting us into the money, just 4 spots away from the final table. And we're back. Just 12 players remain here at this Epic Poker 8 Max main event. 6 players at the feature table, and they are some of the bigger stacks in the room. Isaac Barron currently sits at $746,000. Dutch Boyd has $635,000.
Watching this fool on like the 03 World Series, you know what I mean? Like, damn, I wish I could be out there playing.
He had a sick quote. It said, poker's like sex. Everyone thinks they can play it, but no one's good at it or something.
Yeah. Everybody thinks they're good at it. But none of them.
Crediting me with that quote is like crediting Robin Williamson III with poker takes a minute to learn and a lifetime to master. Like Robert Williamson III.
You even did the dash, the verbal dash.
It's pretty much the same thing. I wish I was that creative.
Well, Dutch exploded on the scene in 03 at the WSOP main event, finishing in 12th place. The same year, Chris Moneymaker won it all.
Action back underway. Pars 404,000. 42-year-old Frenchman Fabrice Soulier, his first act. He's got ace-10 of diamonds, and he will raise it to 23,000. Tim West there looks down at ace-4. Folds over to Adam Levy in the small blind. He's got ace-3.
Suited.
And he'll let that go as well. Now Nam Lee in the big blind. Pocket 7s for him. And he'll make the call.
Hard 14 on the craps table. Well, with the old 7-sided dice.
The flop is 10-4-3, 2 hearts.
Good one for Fabrice. Top pair, top kicker. He's out-flop Nam.
Nam checks.
And that's what you want to do with pocket 7s. Don't want to lead out and look weak.
Soulier bets 27,000. Nam Lee makes the call.
Standard play out of both seats.
Turn card is a 9 of diamonds, and Ali, does that scare Nam Lee at all?
Well, it shouldn't. It does put a second overcard out there, but the 9 is not likely to have hit Fabrice as the pre-flop raiser. Fabrice is a pretty tight player, and he's going to control the pot here. He's checking behind, even though he's got top pair, top kicker. Doesn't want to be raised off of his hand.
River, the queen of clubs, Soulier with the check mark.
Nam's going to check a third time over to Fabrice. He's praying Fabrice will check down behind him. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, though.
Soulier bets 42,000. You see, it'll cost Lee nearly a quarter of his stack to call.
Great sized value bet. Could look like Fabrice is trying to pick up the pot with a bluff here, and you see Nam looking over, trying to get a read on his opponent.
And he makes the call, and Fabrice shows him the 10s.
And by checking behind Nam Lee on the turn, Fabrice enabled himself to get paid off on the end.
Well, it's been a stellar 2011 for Fabrice Soulier, the former film and TV professional. He's currently ranked 7th on the GPI, and he's actually been ranked as high as 3rd. He's coming off a marquee win in this year's WSOP, where he took home the title at the $10,000 Horse Championship. And if you want to play with some of the best players like Fabrice, you can learn more at epicpoker.com and qualify through one of the $1,500 buy-in Pro-Am tournaments, just like Sean Getzweiler did. He's still alive here, and right now he's looking on as the second-ranked Eric Seidel is in a hand with Matt Glantz. Seidel with Queen Jack of clubs and Glantz with Ace-10 as we are heads up to the flop.
Seidel loves to play the button. He smooth-called Glantz pre-flop, and now his flop 2 overcards with a flush draw. Glantz won't follow up the pre-flop raise with a continuation bet. He slips it to Eric, and Eric knows what to do. He's going to fire 30,000 into 50. Glantz does have a gut shot straight draw. Wow, look at this, Pat. He's moving all in.
All in. What have I got myself into here? Let me see what you got. I think I might have priced myself in here.
Ultra aggressive play from Matt Glantz. Sticking his neck on the chopping block. He's got the best hand right now, but he's not a favorite to win if Seidel calls.
I gotta call you.
Seidel does call. He's behind, but has 15 outs.
I think I have you in really bad shape, even though I don't have a pair. No.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Well, he doesn't have Seidel in really bad shape. Again, look at the percentages. Seidel's a favorite.
Turn card 9 of diamonds. Glance still safe.
7. Any 7.
Now with one card to come, Glance is about a 2-to-1 favorite to win.
It's a club. Seidel rivers the flush to eliminate Matt Glance in 12th place.
Well, another brutal ending to Matt Glance's epic poker main event, but it was good enough for his second cash, this time for $46,000.
Meantime, Seidel continues to play well and run good toward what he hopes is another epic main event final table. Experience epic poker. Now you can play like a pro, free. Tim West was hoping Lotso Bear would give him a little luck here today.
You don't know how villainous this cute little teddy bear can get.
But he just got all of his chips in against Isaac Barron, and Barron's Rivered King eliminated West in 11th place for $46,000.
Take Lotso. Oh, I forgot Lotso. You don't win Lotso.
I'm a little devastated. Like, I don't know how I'm going to react to this when I'm not in front of a camera. Things happen for a reason, and I'm sure I'll be back. I had a good time. And Lotso Bear will be back, too, for sure.
And we welcome you back. Only 10 players remain in this 8-max main event, and Mike McDonald has squeaked past David Steike for the chip lead. At table 2, action is on Pro-Am winner Sean Getzweiler, and he folds. Over to David Steike in the small blind. He limps with Jack-9 offsuit.
Lose friends for money.
Amit Makija, currently 126 on the GPI, raises to 30,000.
Looks like he just walked off the Thriller set.
Steike calls, and the flop is Jack-5-5. Steike hits the Jack and checks over to Amit.
That's the kind of flop Steike's not going to mind after limp calling an extra 30,000.
Amit bets 32,000.
That's what he's supposed to do with ace high. But David's supposed to go away, and it doesn't look like that's what he's going to do, Pat.
Yeah, Steike announces raise, and it looks like that's going to be enough to put Makija all in for his tournament life.
It's a curious spot.
I can't imagine Amit calling here.
I feel like I'm going to say I'm probably calling.
Sorry? You?
I'm probably calling. Okay. Unless you can talk me out of it. You can try.
Don't do it!
I was pretty confident, but he's kind of a sick puppy. All right, this is my gut feeling.
Oh!
Makija calls, and he is going to be sick.
I've got the nuts.
Steike's an unpredictable player, but still, I'm a little shocked to see Amit putting his tournament life on the line with ace-9.
Turn card is a 10, no help to Amit. He needs an ace to stay alive. River is a 8. See ya, Makija.
Hey, nice playing with you.
Nice playing with you, too. Good luck, guys.
Amit went with his gut. Now he's going to the valet, but he's got some tip money.
He does, 46K. Meantime, David Steike regains a chip lead back from McDonald. Steike made the long trip from Hong Kong, but he almost didn't play. Very under the weather, but that sickness hadn't stopped his march to the final table.
In this Epic Poker League, all these players here, I mean, they've all made it. And I was quite surprised when I saw my name on the list. Yeah, I couldn't believe that I qualified. I mean, I just had to come to this event, even though it's a long way for me to come. I live in Hong Kong. When I arrived, I just come down with a big fever and had a migraine, and I said, okay, the main event's not for 2 days, so let's just try and sleep it off. I stayed in bed, must have been like 24 hours. When the main event started, still wasn't really ready for it. Went back to bed again, got up, and then went down and bored in at the last minute. I was taking lots of medicines, but somehow got through those last 2 levels. And then on day 2, I lost my voice, sort of got through, and today chip leader. You can say that I've just woken up and become the chip leader. It's a bit surreal. I'm feeling good, actually. I'm ready to go.
You gotta head down to the buffet and load up on chicken soup. That'll fix anything.
So just one player away from reaching our second Epic Poker main event final table. Adam Levy has struggled to get much going today, and he's doing his best to avoid another final table bubble. Blinds are up to 5 and 10,000. Levy looks down somewhat solemnly at ace-9 there, and he raises to 22,000.
A little over a min raise from Levy over to Fabrice.
With pocket sixes in the small blind, Fabrice will make the call. Now Isaac Barron, who is currently one place better than his last Epic main event finish. He's got King-Jack. And he too makes the call, and now to the flop, and it's a 10-9-3. Good flop for Levy. He pairs his 9. Fabrice Soulier's sixes now trail. Barron picks up a gut shot straight draw with 2 overs. Soulier will be first to act, and he checks.
Now it's on Barron, and Barron's going to lead at this pot. This is going to look a little weak, firing 38,000. Why wouldn't he just check and let Adam continuation bet? Although Adam would be less likely to do so typically against 2 opponents if he had air. But as we know, Adam actually has middle pair, so he's going to make the call and get down to heads up. Be happy to be up against just 1 opponent and have position.
Turn card is a king. Believe he can't catch a break. As Barron pairs his king, takes the lead.
Pretty good card for Isaac. He'll feel a lot more comfortable firing a second barrel as we see him put 38,000 into the middle.
Levy with only 20 big blinds behind. Tough spot for him.
Well, not too tough. He's going to respect Isaac and get away from the worst hand.
Levy lives to fight another day and folds. Isaac Barron increases his chip stack, nearing $1 million. Levy, meantime, is our short stack under 200,000. And as we look at the chip count, 9 players remain, but only 8 will make that final table.
Commodities trader David Steike's portfolio is on top, where it's been most of the day. Barron second in chips and only 4 players above par. Adam Levy is fighting tooth and nail to make this final table. Doesn't want to bubble twice.
Meantime, back at table 2, Eric Seidel, who is 4th in chips, is tangled up in a hand with 21-year-old Mike McDonald. After the flop, Seidel is raised with top 2 pair. Action on McDonald, who has bottom 2 pair.
This is a pretty disastrous hand for Mike McDonald. Almost impossible for him to get away after flopping bottom 2 pair.
And McDonald makes the call.
Well, he could have 3-bet there, but he's just going to let Seidel fire another one at the turn.
Turn card is a 10, both with a full house.
This is disaster for Mike McDonald. If the flop was bad, the turn is way worse.
Seidel bets 75,000. The question at this point is how much will McDonald lose?
Well, he could go off for the whole thing here. He's just going to call, thinking he's trapping Seidel.
River card is a 9. Pot is already nearing 300,000.
Now Seidel going to try to come up with a figure that he thinks can get paid off. There's 282,000 in the pot.
And he bets 130,000. This could be big trouble for McDonald.
What a here kitty kitty bet that is. It could look defensive to McDonald. Mike might put a raise in. It could also spook him.
All in.
McDonald raises enough to put Seidel all in.
Sorry.
No chance Eric folds. Only pocket aces beats him.
I can't follow that call.
Seidel calls, it doubles up. He's over $1 million.
Oh, I should just call it river.
And you hear Mike McDonald with a little bit of hindsight there.
Well, the one man nobody wants to see with more chips has the lead. Can anybody stop Eric Seidel? Experience Epic Poker. Now you can play like a pro, free. Welcome back to the Palms Casino Resort, this Epic Poker 8 Max main event. Seidel has lost a few chips, but still on top of the leaderboard. You see, Nam Lee and Adam Levy are the short stacks, as we are one player away from making the final table.
Seidel might as well go grab dinner. He can coast to the final table at this point.
Table 2 is four-handed, and action is on. Pro-Am winner Sean Getzweiler.
Getzweiler recently bested a field of more than 4,000 at the World Series this year, winning his first bracelet and over 600K. He finished 6th at the $1,500 Pro-Am tournament, winning a seat to this main event.
Getzweiler with ace-queen and raised to 28,000. David Steike on the button. He makes the call with 10-8.
Seidel and McDonald out of the way. Steike just wants to play a pot heads up in position. He's got his wish.
The flop is 10-10-3. Steike flops trips. Is that smile a giveaway?
You know what kitchens are?
Sorry?
You know what kitchens are?
What are?
Kitchens.
Kitchen sink. Huh?
I checked here.
What? A kitchen is a 10, not a 3.
10-3.
Oh, 10-3. Oh, okay, when I won the $1 million thing in Australia, my hand was 10-3 suited.
Ah, well, that's not real kitchens. Kitchens has to be 10-3 off to qualify.
Okay, I didn't have a kitchen then, but...
After all that, both players check.
If 10-3's the kitchen, 10-8's the kitchenette.
The turn is an 8.
Now he's got a full house.
Steike checks again. Is he ever going to bet?
Well, he's just hoping he can milk a little bit more out of Getzweiler. Sean's not going to bite, though. He'll be happy to show down with ace high.
River was a 4, and Getzweiler checks a third time.
No chance David knuckles now.
Steike finally bets 45,000.
Was bluffing at it the only way you're going to win the pot?
You see, it would only cost Getzweiler 15% of his stack to call with ace high.
I call.
Getzweiler calls, and Steike retakes the chip lead.
Before, but this time it held up.
Jesus. I got owned.
I knew it had to win this time.
Wow, did I get owned?
Steike referencing the hand that McDonald just lost to Seidel with earlier.
I just got owned.
It was the kitchen sink, all right, huh? Everything but the kitchen sink.
Oh, man. You put me in the kitchen.
Getzweiler may be in the kitchen, but let's go inside the numbers. Look at the two players who missed out on the final table last time.
Pat, remember that pros voluntarily play about 20 to 25% of hands at an 8-max table. Levy has been tight at this feature table, Barron very active. The aggression index measures a player's bets or raises compared to calls or folds. Both are above a typical pros ratio of 2 to 1. Each has been aggressive, but Levy has been far less active, so he'll get more credit for a good hand when he plays.
For more in-depth stats on all the players, go to epicpoker.com. Action now on Adam Levy. He's got King Jack offsuit on the button, and he ships his short stack all in.
Adam's got a tight table image, but Nam's got pocket eights.
How much is that? I think it's like 150.
Lee asking for a count. It's about 150 to call. That's a significant portion of Nam's stack. This call would essentially be for his tournament life.
And he makes the call. Now Levy forgets Soulier is left to act and flips over his cards.
Whoops. Lucky for Adam, Fabrice had 7 deuce, a no-brainer. Levy's facing the prospect of being a bubble boy for a second straight tournament.
The remaining players with a vested interest in what happens here. The outer table is keeping an eye on the action as well. Will Adam Levy's journey come to another frustrating end?
I got a shove, you got a call.
That about sums it up. Levy's behind, heading to the flop, looking for a king or a jack.
Here is the flop. Oh, an 8 right in the window, and a queen and a 5. Not looking good for Levy.
Looking horrible, in fact, Pat. He's going to need to hit a straight card or a diamond on the turn just to keep his hopes alive.
Levy came into this event hoping to put the past behind him, but it looks like he's being haunted by his past as his fate hinges on the turn of the next card. And there it is, a queen, and that'll do it. Adam Levy's going home 1 seat shy of the final table for the second time in a row.
Absolutely heartbreaking. He had his sights set on better than that, but back-to-back final table bubbles means we'll probably see him in the championship free roll.
Adam Levy earns $46,000 and embarks on a familiar walk out of the Palms Casino Resort.
Good job, guys.
And for the 8 remaining players, smiles all around.
Good job.
An elite field began this 8-max tournament as once again, many of the biggest names in the game came to compete, but one by one, the field shrank. Oh. Next time, an impressive group of 8 compete for the title, including Pro-Am winner Sean Getzweiler.
I call.
Isaac Barron and Mike McDonald carry the torch for the young guns, while Fabrice Soulier, Nam Lee, and Dutch Boyd provide a veteran presence. David Steike, the unlikely chip leader, and for Eric Seidel, it's like deja vu all over again, as he now moves on to his second epic final table. Yet for Adam Levy, he's at a familiar place as well.
So here I am again for the second straight tournament. I'm not okay with this, but it's not the end of the world.
Well, at the start of any tournament, every player dreams of making that final table. That dream has now been realized for our 8 remaining players. But I know this is where a whole new goal takes shape, Ali.
It sure does, partner, and I've got a glimpse at that shape for you. Here it is, our championship ring. This is what the winner's going to take home along with all the cash. Now, winning is certainly the only thing that a true poker professional is focused on once at the final table. And while victory would be sweet and well-deserved for everybody left, how about Eric Seidel? They call him the Cyborg, and he's certainly earned it. The guy's playing poker like a machine.
This will be a lot of fun to watch as the battle on the hardwood will unfold here at the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas. For Ali Najad, I'm Pat O'Brien. We will see you next time for the final table as the Epic Poker League rolls on.